Good morning and welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Uyo, I am Tiba David. We begin this morning with a report that Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moina has called a Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission to make funds readily available to fast-track the execution of various laudable developmental projects in the state. Governor hosted these yesterday at the Ibom Hotel and Golf Resort in Uyo on the occasion of a retreat by members of the RMAFC. Assured the Commission of the government's support as they carry out their onerous responsibility of sharing.
Meetings of this commission by stakeholders and associated agencies becomes a critically important task. Let me at this point express our profound appreciation to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR for some of the bold steps he has taken to rejig our economy. Let me assure you that we'll continue to work with you as you carry out the onerous responsibility of sharing the funds from the Federation account and ensuring fairness, equity, and transparency.
Delivering his keynote address, the Vice President of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, represented by the Technical Advisor to the Vice President on Debt Management and Revenue Mobilization, Ibrahim Natawandu, urged each member of the Commission not to see his or her appointment as a privilege, but as a responsibility to uphold transparency, fairness, efficiency, and the discharge of their constitutional mandate. Senator Kashim Shettima reminded them that they are the custodians of the system that ensures equity among the three tiers of government, and they are to ensure fiscal balance across the Federation.
I commend the leadership of the Commission for initiating this engagement, which is timely, strategic, and in alignment with our administration's vision for fiscal prudence, equity, and sustainable development. And thank the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Pastor Umo Eno, for hosting this important retreat. I assure you that this administration recognizes these efforts and is committed to supporting initiatives that enable the Commission to function optimally. This retreat is more than an orientation. It is a call to national service at a time when our country is undergoing major reforms aimed at repositioning the economy. I urge each member of the Commission to view your appointment as not a privilege, but as a responsibility to build transparency, fairness, and efficiency in the discharge of your constitutional mandate.
Let us welcome address the chairman of the RMAFC, Dr. Mohammed Bello Shehu, commended the governor for sponsoring the hosting of the retreat in the state and charged members of the commission to approach their responsibilities with commitment to national interest, diligence, due process, and vision for reform and legacy. He expressed gratitude to the participants for honoring the invitation in spite of their busy schedule, describing the retreat as an effort designed to familiarize new members with the operations and responsibility of the commission, aimed at preparing members to deliver efficiently on the mandates of the Commission, as well as contribute to nation building. Government House Correspondent General reports that the chairman cautioned the new members that their appointment was not only a call to service, but requires integrity, patriotism, and excellence. In another development, the Professor Akpan H. Ekpo Center for Public Policy, University of Uyo, is set to present her first 2025 colloquium on Wednesday, April 30, 2025, with the theme, Public Policy Dynamics in Nigeria, Issues and Challenges. A release signed by the Executive Co-Chairman, Professor Ntiedo Morin, and made available to Planet News, notes that venue for the event is the Multi-Purpose Hall, University of Uyo, Main Campus along Maniba Road at 11 a.m. According to the release, the Chief Host and Vice Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Nyaudon Dayo, will be happy to welcome the keynote speaker, Dr. Samshuddin Usman, the current Chairman of the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, himself, the former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and former Minister of Finance and of National Planning. The release further states that other speakers include Dr. Linus Nkan, the Commissioner for Economic Development, and Dr. Obong Umo, the Commissioner for Education, while the chairman of the occasion is Professor Akpan H. Ekpo, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Uyo and immediate past Director General of the West African Institute for Financial and Economic Management. Meanwhile, members of the public operating within the public policy space are encouraged to attend. That in a landmark ceremony marked by elegance and purpose, His Worship Theresa Ntong, FCIS, has formally been installed as the fourth chairman of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State Chapter. The investiture ceremony held in Uyo drew dignitaries from government, judiciary, academia, and the corporate sector. Speaking at the event, the chairman of the occasion, Barrister Godwill Umo, the AXEN National President, Funmi Ekundayo, FCIS, congratulated His Worship Ntong on her emergence and charged the new executive committee to uphold the Institute's ideals.
Incoming chairman, Your Worship, Mrs. Ntong has a role to play in the choice. So I salute your courage for making all women affair. I am sure His Excellency the Governor will be very happy about the theory of inclusiveness. So I congratulate your executives who have been found good enough to be elected, and as we surely thank you today for this wonderful ceremony. I would like to congratulate outgoing chairman for a job well done, but not everybody who starts a tenure sometimes finishes it. But she's been able to run a very efficient and very wonderful tenure. I would also like to congratulate our chairman and to say on behalf of this is a testimony of our past services, a testimony of capacity and merit, and we will not expect anything less than that throughout the administration.
In a valedictory speech, the immediate past chairman of AXEN, Chino Niyerem Ini Ememebo, while commending Pastor Moino, PhD, for the Arise agenda and his impactful leadership, congratulated the newly inaugurated chairman, His Worship Theresa Ntong, FCIS, and the new executive committee. She urged them to build on the legacy AXEN have created and take the chapter to even greater heights. Meanwhile, the keynote speaker, Judge Uresi, the Executive Director and Chief Operating Officer, Ibom Airlines Limited, while speaking on the topic, good governance, ethics, and sustainability, the panacea of national development, noted that leadership has the responsibility to set the tone for cultural changes to be established in any society. He added that good ethics and good governance results to sustainability in an organization and a society at large.
My vice chairman of the physically present, we stood the ground and ensured that every piece of initiative accomplished, even with my absence, we did it, and I really want to thank you for that. And to other EXCO members, stakeholders, and all the chapter members, thank you for your strong collaboration and steadfastness. So my team as chairman has come to attend. My commitment to the system will remain consistent.
Your ethics are gravitating towards trying to do what is right all the time. Then you have a strong point. If your ethics it doesn't matter, then your ethics are gravitating in a negative direction. Sustainability is about what needs to be done to safeguard long-term survival and making long-term success possible. If you don't bring it down and you actually build it up, then the next people can carry it on and on.
In her acceptance speech, His Worship Ntong, a seasoned administrator and magistrate of repute, appreciated the immediate past chairman for her steadfastness and the entire members of AXEN for their support. She identified some aspirations of the new vision, new reality, administrating to include promoting the core values of AXEN, fostering professionalism, collaboration and innovation, building on the foundation led by AXEN predecessors, and introducing mentorship initiatives to nurture students and new members, amongst others.
It is with deep humility and a heart full of gratitude to the Almighty God that I stand before you today as the first chairman of the Institute of the Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria.
strategic management session in Ikorekbene. Akpabio, who was represented by the Deputy Senate President, Barao Jibrin, added that the National Assembly is ready to give the necessary legislative backing for the review of outdated laws. He stated that Nigeria must begin to institutionalize merit, discipline, and integrity over mediocrity, favoritism, and impunity, noting that reforms in the police requires courage that would disrupt the status quo. He urged the Police Service Commission to adopt policies that would make the police protectors instead of predators and deliver justice instead of judgment, and called for the adaptation of community policing models that emphasize empathy, conflict resolution, and neighborhood engagement like Japan and Finland. To the Green Chambers Warehouse of Representatives, Speaker Abbas Tajuddin and stakeholders in the electoral process have backed the bill seeking the establishment of an independent authority to register and regulate the funding of political parties in the country. Speaking at a technical workshop for the House Committee on Political Party Matters on the political party bills in Abuja, Tajuddin Abbas said the country must find ways to make party politics serve the purpose of politics, not wealth creation for its managers. The Speaker, who was represented by Ishaya Lalu, noted that the registration and regulation of political parties will promote transparency and accountability, separates the regulatory function from government control, and domicile it in an independent body that will not be partisan in holding political parties accountable for things like campaign financing and sources. They further said the decision of the House to initiate discussions through the consideration of the bill is a response to the popular demand that political parties should function as true agents of democratic consolidation in the nation. Away from that, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is pushing for several amendments to the 1999 Constitution and the 2022 Electoral Act to establish a more robust electoral legal framework ahead of the 2027 general elections. Among the proposed amendments are provisions for diaspora voting, early voting for security personnel and other officials on election duty, voting rights for inmates, the creation of special seats for women and persons with disabilities, and dedicated funding for the Commission. These proposals were outlined by the Special Advisor to the INEC Chairman, Professor Mohammed Kuna, titled Issues and Contentions in the Electoral Legal Framework, an overview from INEC submission delivered at a retreat for the Joint Committee of the National Assembly on Electoral Matters held in Lagos. Kuna noted that the 2023 general election marked the 7th since Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999 and highlighted that INEC has also successfully conducted numerous off-cycle, by- and rerun elections over the years. He stressed the need for a proactive and comprehensive review of the electoral laws to address existing gaps and strengthen Nigeria's electoral process. You are listening to the news on Planets Radio 101.1 FM. Let's take a breather and then bring you more stories from our foreign, sports, and entertainment scene. Just stay with us.
It's rising like the sun and shining forth, sustaining life like never before. It will never set. Planet Radio Station 101.1 with you, Nigeria. Don't touch the dial.
Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to the news of Planet Radio 101.1 FM. And now to the foreign scene. Senior diplomats from the BRICS grouping of nations have gathered in Brazil to present a united front in the face of US President Donald Trump's trade policies. The meeting comes at a critical moment for the world economy after the International Monetary Fund slashed growth forecast over the impact of the American leaders' sweeping new tariffs. And now to sports in Leeds United. Leeds United cruised to a 4-0 victory over Bristol City at Ellen Road, maintaining the strong finish to the championship season. Goals from Ao Tanaka, Wilfred Nonto, and a late double from substitute Leji Ramazani secured the win, with Leeds already confirmed for promotion to the Premier League. Meanwhile, Bristol City struggled to create chances and now face a must-win final match against Preston North End to keep their playoffs hopes alive. Now to our entertainment scene. Popular Nigerian industrialist and billionaire wife Sade Okoye has stated that she has not missed out in any aspect of life despite marrying an older man. Recall that the 48-year-old got married to Razak Okoye, an 85-year-old billionaire, in 1999 when she was 21. However, addressing the critics of her marriage in an interview, Sade Okoye affirmed that she is very happy in her marriage. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM with you. But before we go, a recap of the major stories. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has called for introduction of a reward system for outstanding police officers in Nigeria to promote professionalism. House of Representatives Speaker Abbas Tajuddin and stakeholders in the electoral process backed the bill seeking the establishment of an independent authority to register and regulate the funding of political parties in the country. The Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moyne has called on the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission to make funds readily available to fast-track the execution of various laudable developmental projects in the state. On the foreign scene, we told you that senior diplomats from the BRICS grouping of nations have gathered in Brazil to present a united front in the face of U.S. President Donald Trump's trade policies. And in sport, reported that Leeds United cruised to a 4-0 victory over Bristol City at Ellen Road, maintaining their strong finish to the championship season. For comments and coverage of the newsworthy events, call the newsroom on 0701 896 8395. Visit our website on planets101fm.ng and follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at planet_101fm. Also like our Facebook page at planets101fm with you. The news was edited by Jane Owa. As we end the news, we leave you with this thought. Love grows when we protect what we cherish. Be mindful, be careful, and let kindness lead the way. I am Mutsobe David. Good morning to you.